No.
It's just brutal. I just don't know how they. This is what people like. People want to see violence. I mean, it's the Roman Empire again. It's gladiators. That's exactly what they're trying to bring back. Eventually, we're gonna have a showcase where people sign off and say, "All right, let's fight with swords or, or
Good,
hammers or
good,
axes."
good way to end the segment. Straight up, Tommy D. I appreciate you, man. Have a good time tomorrow. Hug your daughter. Are you going to a wedding? What's up?
Well, my brother's getting married tomorrow.
All
So
right. Well, your brother's getting married. Have a great day. I got to run because we're 5 seconds from a straight break. But congratulations to your brother. Straight up, this is Ring Talk.
Tomorrow I'll be on the road, so I got to get.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solution Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-659-7997. 800-659-7997. 800-659-7997. That's 800-659-7997.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. That's 800-401-5163. Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you can book your vacation and get a free credit to use towards airline travel. We'll book both, airline and hotel, with one simple phone call. We have access to most airlines and deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Call right now, book your hotel rooms, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. That's 800-256-4816.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
40 minutes past the hour. This is Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Some of the TV action going on. Of course, we talk about Jaron Ennis and Usama Lima. Of course, that's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That is got a co-feature as well. Alexis Barrera and Guido Vianello. That's going to go down on the zone from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Dave Allen versus Arlansik Baharik. Something like that. Anyway, bottom line is Josh Padley's on the undercard versus Reese Bellotti. That's coming to us from Sheffield, UK. So that'll probably be earlier today on on DAZN as well, of course. And then DAZN's going to go with Karen. We mentioned Karen a little bit earlier. Of course, he lost twice to Boots Ennis. Lost like 11 rounds to 1 the first time, 12 rounds to zip the first time, 11 to 1 the second time. Bottom line is it wasn't a contest. But Karen, whatever Karen's name is going to take on Joel Malafit. That's going to be on DAZN as well. Of course, at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's what's going on right now. Of course, Sunday, the 12th, Yoanel Hernandez versus Carlo Muhammad Rodriguez coming to us from Hollywood, Florida, and that is going to be on some type of cable. I'm not saying exactly what it is right now, but straight up, boxing is and Danny Garcia. My buddy, Danny. I can't believe I was like blown away by this. Danny Garcia, like 37-4 off the top of my head, 37-4, something like it. 37-4, one stoppage, of course, 21 KOs, of course, as a winner, and of course he's a winner as far as his investments are concerned. I mean, the guy was a smart dude. He invested most of his money in real estate. Real estate went through the roof. As far as Philadelphia was concerned, more power to him. He's worth a lot of money. He's been a boxing promoter as well one time, but the bottom line is he wants to come back. It's going to be in Brooklyn, New York, against Danny Gonzalez at the Barclays Center. Going down, of course, it's going to be October 18th. And I'm not a fan of guys coming back, especially guys that have made money. I mean, if you made enough money and you walked away and you can still spell your name, you're a fortunate dude. You don't realize how fortunate you are. So you're going to test it some more? Why? Because out of greed? I mean, obviously, Danny Garcia, you're never going to excel to the levels that you had before. You're just not going to. And plus, I didn't think you were that good to begin with. I thought you were fortunate. Thought you maybe won a couple of fights. Because of favorable judging and nice promoters and things like that, good matchmaking. I thought you were a tool of good matchmaking. But at the end of the day, do I consider you a great fighter, a Hall of Fame fighter? Hell no. Bottom line is not even really that good of a fighter in my mind as far as pound for pound is concerned. Of course, straight up, what do I really think of Tommy D? Of course, Tommy D lost to Araceli Lara the last time. Araceli Lara is a real dude. He quit in the 9th round. But Araceli Lara is a guy that's really been a weird dude because he was a Cuban, or he still is a Cuban, but he was a Cuban national. And when he came over here at first, I mean, he ran around rings. He used to stink to join out. People would boo him. He got booed. Every time I went to see him, he got booed. Every time I went to see him, he got booed. Then I guess he got old and he couldn't run no more. And now all of a sudden he started to knock people out and win knockouts. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 of the last 6 fights have been by KO. Well, that's not bad. I mean, for a guy that was a runner and this and that, bottom line is Lara was a good fighter. Of course, Lara was another guy, I think, that got the shaft instead of the penthouse suite when he fought Canelo Alvarez. I mean, he got the shaft. He won that fight. There's no doubt about it. He won that fight. Straight up, you are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. They're talking now about Jake Paul. Get this. Jake Paul, oh, man, this is getting me sick. But Jake Paul's going to fight the world heavyweight champion. They're going to try to exchange this for 2027. I'm not kidding you. 2026. I'm not kidding you. Why would they want to do this? Because Oleg Usyk can make all kinds of money beating up a guy like, I mean, me or Daniel in the other room would put up a better fight than that guy. I mean, just would. I mean, we can fight better than Jake Paul. Jake Paul couldn't lick a stamp US. So Jake Paul couldn't spell fight if you put the letters on a piece of paper and told him to put it together. He just couldn't. And people try to say, well, make up for him. Well, he draws. Yeah, he draws. I haven't figured that spit out yet neither. Have you? I mean, what does he draw for? He doesn't have the talent. Why is he drawing these millions of people to watch him box on TV, Netflix and pay-per-view and things like that? Why is he making the money that he's making? How come? I mean, he's got no talent, but yet he's making money. Straight up. Sebastian Fedora, the WBC 154-pound champion, of course, 6'5" guy that appeared on the show a few years ago, and I went to Mexico City and met him at the WBC convention. He is out. His fight with Keith Thurman is postponed. Of course, he's got a hand injury, and of course, people say that's BS. The tickets for the fight aren't selling. I don't know if they would do that. Television money's all about tickets right now. I mean, put it this way: it's almost more important than tickets. If you got a television guarantee, you're probably cool, no doubt about that. Straight up. But this is Ring Talk Live World. Back to Dana White. Gotta mention Dana White. Why do I keep saying that? But, Dana White is rocking and rolling. I mean, he's got this fight card going on tonight, October 11th, of course, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Pharmacia Arena, of course, on top, Charles Oliveira and Massimi Gamat, something like that, Gamrot, Jimrot, something. How about Jimrot? I'll call him Jimrot. Anyway, Devinson for Figueiredo, taking a take on Montel Jackson. Nobody on the card that stands out. But then again, Dana's got these guys. He got more guys than he can imagine. I mean, he really is. He is the only fight game in town. Bellator is gone. I don't see Bellator around anymore. I don't see any other major MMA or full contact type of things. I mean, that bare knuckle boxing stuff's still going on, but that's not me. I tell you about the time they offered me a gig doing that, and I said, no thanks, couldn't do it. No, bare knuckle boxing is just not my forte. There's no doubt about it. I mean, when I look at the Not that it's that brutal. It's not the brutality. It's the fact that it just damages guys' faces. It just does. I mean, why do you want to bust up a guy's face? In other words, back to that what Tommy D talked about earlier, the bloodthirsty fan, the Roman days where, when you throw people and fight lions, that kind of stuff. They want to see people fight to the death. I don't know. You're not doing this. That's what it is. You're not doing it. And when you see the NFL on TV, you say, oh, that guy, he pushed out of that hit. Well, you don't see it. You don't realize what's happening. Gene Washington was an all-pro wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. He was also president of the NFL Players Association. He did some TV work on different cable networks, this and that. And I did some radio with him one time, and I said to him, every time you caught the ball, you fell down. He was number 18 for the SF 49ers for like 10 years, all pros, I said. But every time he caught the ball, he fell down. Every time. And I couldn't figure it out why. And then, I asked him, I said, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I said, every time you caught the ball, you fell down. He goes, I said, why? He goes, the reason why I fell down? I go, yeah, because that's the reason why I'm here today. I said, what are you trying to say? He goes, if I hadn't fallen down, if I had taken hits on all those times, he goes, I'd be marshmallows as far as my brains were concerned. He just was. You don't realize it, but boxing and football are about the same way. And, he mentioned the fact that, and Larry Merchant brought this up as well. Of course, Larry Merchant was a guy that played college football, got buzzed, and they had a hit, said he saw stars and that kind of good stuff. But, taking punishment in boxing and MMA and sports in general, of course, it's just, how can I put it? You want to try to minimize it, but you don't want to try to PUSSY the sport. You don't want to pussify the sport. You don't want to do that, okay? And you don't want to pussify MMA. And you don't have to. If you take away the ground and pound, the fact that you can't hit guys when they're down, you just can't. If you want to go get on them and do a headlock or their chokeholds, whatever you want to do, but you can't hit guys when they're down. There's no way to defend against that. Absolutely. And I told you, the only thing that absorbs those punches when they're down, or the kicks when they're down, or those elbows or those forearms when they're down, is the brain. Is it really worth it? I mean, you don't see these guys at the end, 5-6 years later. You don't see them. I see them once in a while. And I'm going to mention some of the names. There's some Northern California guys that fought MMA, and when I see them every now and then, they sort of talk a little funny, or their eyes aren't right. Of course, I told you about this before, the neurological damage done by contact sports. I've noticed this in both football, MMA, and boxing, is that when a guy looks at you, and both eyeballs looking at you, right, but one eye's cockeyed, when the eye's cockeyed, one eye's up, that's the sign of neurological damage. Or maybe that's the precursor to CT. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I'm telling you the obvious. I mean, when you hit guys when they're down, the brain's the only thing absorbing the punch. And why do you want to do that? Dana White, why would you want... I mean, that really doesn't make your sport any more exciting. It makes it more deadly, maybe. More, I mean, it increases the chances of tragedy. And obviously, the tragedy down the road, you don't seem to care about because you don't have any pension plan or anything like that for these guys. Of course, you've done this to the point where... I want to talk about this again. I want to talk about prostitutes and pimps in San Francisco when I was a cop back in the 80s, okay? Bottom line is, I knew pimps that had hoes. That's what they call them. These are my hoes, okay? But the bottom line is, these guys couldn't get away with giving their house where Dana White gives his house. Why do I say that? Because Dana White's fighters make about 5 to 10% of the total purse. In the NFL, the players get about 55 to 60%, okay? In boxing, they get a different percentage as far as the money is concerned. Big-time boxers, think about this. The Francis Ngannou, the UFC heavyweight champion, he told Dana White, he gave Dana White you see me on Twitch, the middle finger, and he said, you know what, screw you, I'm going somewhere else. He went and signed another contract. Of course, he fought Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. He made $18 million at 2 fights. He sold out Madison Square Garden, not the little one that Alexander Zayas couldn't sell out, the big one, the big arena. He sold out the big arena. It was like a $7 or $8 million gate, and he got $500,000. That was his, I kid you, $500,000. Of course, he went over to boxing, fought Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, had the controversial fight with Tyson Fury, got licked like a stamp by Anthony Joshua, but he made $18 million. $18 million. You know what? If fighting for Dana, he would have had to fight 20 or 30 times to get that kind of money. Think about that, 20 or 30 times. Yet this guy fights twice, makes that kind of money. So what I'm trying to tell you is that Dana is a legal pimp. Back to what I was saying about hoes and pimps in San Francisco. If you told a girl in San Francisco, listen, you got to go sleep with this guy for $100. Okay, so you go sleep with the guy for $100, and you come back with $100, and the pimp takes $90. the girl's going to say, listen, man, you know what? I'm going to save my $10 and get on the first bus to Cleveland. I'm out of here. There's no doubt about it. I mean, nobody's going to stick around for those type of work conditions. But in the world of mixed martial arts and Dana White gets away with it. And I think it's back to this Dana White privilege. I mean, I'm not the first guy to come up with that line. But it's Dana White privilege. The fact that he's blowing the president, bringing the president to different events. Of course, the UFC is going to hold an event, I believe, on the White House lawn. That's what they're going to do next year. So, yikes. I mean, I'm just not a big fan of Dana White, although I'm a big fan of the way he promotes things. Of course,